days out.
I know.
Probably a good idea.
I know, welcome to my world over here.
So,
Yeah.
I think, so we've agreed to the
First is
meetings,
out.
you've got the whole
Yep.
meeting on that, right?
Mhm.
All right, update on initiatives and budget process.
Well, one of the biggest ones really to hit this committee revolving around the CDA is just kind of the fact that the board is looking forward to a really productive budget wrap-up coming up here towards the end of October. Yeah. No. And so one of the larger components of that is that they are looking at a village-wide transportation and parking analysis. So there's been verbalization for a lot of support for that so far, so we're looking forward to hearing those final things come to conclusion. I know, I'm gonna get you some paddles. You
Well,
can-
when are we gonna vote on it? Cause I'm downvoting that thing.
The board actually is gonna, we have a session called the budget wrap-up occurring on October 22nd, and you're welcome to attend. It's a public open meeting. And what we do is we kind of go through a list of different things that the board's discussed and has wanted to contemplate accomplishing in 2019. So that is one of them that's included within there. There's a number of other items. So we look forward to that coming to conclusion, and then following some of those larger initiatives in terms of if and how they get solidified in the budget, I'm gonna be going back to then fine tune more details and work plans for 2019. So you can expect for me to come back and update you on the results of that. And then we can continue our work as a group in collaboration with the board to see what our next steps are as a CDA. Yes.
May I ask, who put together that big glossy thing about the available properties and like,
Imagine Shorewood, or why Shorewood?
are we paying for that? That seems like that would fall under our purview, but I don't recall being asked
Yes.
about it.
Um,
Or was it predated?
are you talking about the publication that was in the packet?
Yeah.
Yes, so I believe the CDA put it together. I don't-
Yeah, I provided
Oh, okay.
like 90% of the data, and then Karen Parr.
What was the cost to the village for that?
I don't
You're-
know.
you're
I don't know what they
far-
paid Karen. to
Village or
put together.
CDA?
Yeah,
The CDA paid, because that was done in 2015, correct?
I'm a
14.
Yeah, that,
And then
the
updated after
CDA, I'm
that.
sure paid for it.
Well, yeah, TID one.
That's all I
Okay.
have to report.
When is the village board voting on the final budget? Next month?
They have
Monday.
a
right?
wrap-up
Monday.
meeting on Monday, October 22nd.
Oh, okay.
And then there is the publication of the budget and all the funds to the public in terms of what it's proposed to be for 2019. And then on November 19th, which is also a Monday, they will hold a formal public hearing, and then they will vote on the budget. So the budget wrap-up is what we kind of use internally to guide those last steps in terms of what's gonna make up that budget. It is possible that some things could change between October 22nd and November 19th, but we try as best as we can with the board to work with them to kind of have a developed plan, so that on the 19th, there aren't a whole lot of surprises.
So at our November 2nd meeting, or whenever it is,
Mm-hmm.
will that be an item on our agenda of what we anticipate the board is going to be adopting at the,
Yes, I can share with you the results of that budget wrap-up meeting that occurs on October 22nd.
that'd be good.
When is our next meeting here?
Yeah,
Second,
November
okay, good.
2nd.
Yep.
Can you believe it?
I know November.
That concludes that
Okay.
report.
Wow.
All right, let's find development bid updates.
It's in the packet, I can go
Yeah.
over it briefly if any questions pop up. A few new openings, Crux Chiropractic and Power Cycle, is on the verge of opening as well, I should have included that, in the former Yo Mama space. And then the plan commission did approve upon a resubmission of, the Spanish immersion school to occupy the former Goldie space. And so, that was kind of a more talked about topic, but that did get approved. He's moving forward, hoping to get, permits and, construction going to be open by next April, May, somewhere in there, late spring.
You get an occupancy permit?
Does he?
Yeah, you approved him for the space, everything.
He got approved for a conditional use permit, but not an occupancy permit. He'll have to
Okay.
apply for that separately, correct? So, Yes, he got approved for the conditional use permit. He's currently drafting plans that will need to be approved by the state, building permit plans. There's a bunch more steps to go forward with, but he did get the conditional use permit, which was the assurance he was looking for to spend more money on,
Cool.
investigating stuff. So that's hoping to move forward late spring, early summer next year. It should be open. Couple other things, Becky, Tyler, and I met with UWM School of Architecture to discuss possible, renderings of public space or redevelopments that they have done for us in the past. So if there's any ideas of areas, we'd be willing to entertain those as well. I think we're meeting with him again in December. He wants to touch base to see if we have any ideas on that, so we can bring that up again. I met with the Fair Housing Council regarding our commitment to furthering affordable housing.
I'm sorry, can I just go back to so in terms of future steps, would you see coming to the CDA with a question of which sites we would want rendered, or is it?
Yeah, it was a very informal meeting,
Yeah, I like
kind of
that
showing
idea. I
us
think
what
that's
he did in the past
Yeah.
and suggesting that, he'd come back to us in 6
That's-
months or whenever for possible ideas. So yeah, if there are areas, I guess that's kind of a good topic. If there are areas to think about that the CDA would like, for the school to, possibly throw out.
And
Is
is
the
this-
high school lawn, anybody?
What did you say?
There was like when they did this years ago, they included like developing like the corner of the high school, and it became like this, lightning, it was just like a
Brainstorm.
It was just like a brainstorming thing, but it became like a lightning rod within the community, because, for obvious reasons, but anyway,
And what-
this predates everybody.
I'm assuming this is part of the students' work, or is this sort of a project that he would be looking to be compensated? Is this
No.
No.
hiring them?
No,
or-
it's student work,
Yeah,
and
okay.
then, he leads this program and also has a nonprofit for it to try to help facilitate
Yeah.
positive things in the area. The students really like Shorewood. A lot of them live in Shorewood,
Right.
and we're really
Easy access.
And it gives them a
close, tangible
practical way
thing.
to use
Yeah.
their,
Yep.
okay.
Mark Keen actually also lives like the corner of Olive and Lake Drive or something.
Somewhere around there.
So
yeah.
he's lived here for 30 years. So we're just well familiar with the community and just really enthusiastic about opportunities to kind of see things move forward.
I
It
know
was
So,
good,
I think
it was
it's
a
a
great thing when they did it before.
Yeah, I think that's a good
yeah, and
idea.
if he doesn't have anything now, we're just gonna continue to meet with him every 6 months
Yep.
because quite frankly, he's really invigorating.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
you
a
never
great
know
idea.
when something can come up or kind of get brainstormed out of that, so.
Okay,
Well, and
sorry.
you never know when, once we know what our work plan is for 2019, maybe there's something that we
Yes.
wanna go to them with
Yep.
and say, here's what we wanna do, can you help us do renderings
Right,
for
yes.
Mhm.
good contact?
So yeah, if there's any ideas, feel free to, email Becky or I if something comes to your mind. But we're
Yeah.
meeting with them in December, so we'll have probably 2 more meetings to discuss that. I scheduled a fair housing seminar for November 7th to train landlords on what it means to further fair housing. We've done that in the past, and so this is just kind of a refresher course on that. I attended a green.
Wait,
Oh, sorry.
say that again? You meet with landlords to explain what?
No, so the Milwaukee, there's a flyer in the back, so the Milwaukee Metropolitan Fair Housing Council, will host a seminar on what it means to further fair housing, so landlords can come in.
What does it mean to further fair housing?
Maybe
I guess you should attend the.
I'm trying to think of what that might
So it-
actually
How
entail.
so the-
that just-
very obvious.
I mean, are we talking about
Right there in the
discrimination, or are we talking about
I mean-
keeping rents low?
Yeah, so seminar topics include, federal fair housing laws, advertising units in compliance
Oh,
with
fair housing,
fair
not
housing laws.
affordable housing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
fair
thinking
housing.
affordable. Okay, never mind. So you're just gonna tell them to keep their rents low? Like, I don't get it.
Don't discriminate.
Another question on
The
this.
discrimination part, that makes, yeah,
I
I
didn't
get
see,
it.
so in the update, you talk about the village's obligations. So
Yes.
are there specific,
Yeah, so we do.
and who's obliged? When you say the village's obligations, who?
So Milwaukee, we accept community block grant funds for, and I'm blanking on what program we utilize it
The
for.
Senior Resource Center.
Senior Resource Center, sorry. So in exchange for us getting that through the county has asked all communities who take those funds to commit to further fair housing.
Okay.
So every year we have to do one of 7 things that are on a list. One of them is to, offer landlord training.
Okay.
Yeah, so, in the past, we've reported which TIDs are closing, because there's an opportunity to extend the TID for fair housing, or for, affordable housing rather, so there's a list of 7 things. We've done this in the past at least once, maybe twice.
I've done it every year since I've been the planner.
I didn't know there was an
Almost
annual
every-
thing.
It's annual, and they switch it up sometimes to spring, and
I need to
we,
go, sorry.
we mail out invites to
Yep.
all the
I'm gonna
landlords.
fix that furnace,
And
but-
it's actually one of the better
Sure.
attended ones.
Yep.
Sorry guys,
like,
thanks. No problem.
Because we do that special invite.
So yeah, by every November, the village just has to report that we've done one of these 7 things. This one will fulfill our 2018 obligations, and so it is scheduled for November 7th.
Great.
But yeah, it sounds like it's a well-attended event, and I'll be there to learn what they say as well, so anyone would be invited to listen to that. I went to a green stormwater infrastructure seminar as well. A big one, the Oaks of Shorewood, will be opening Monday, October 29th. I believe it's 4 or 4:30.
4 o'clock, and
4
you guys
o'clock.
can come, you're gonna get in.
Is it open to the public, or is that invite only?
I don't know that technicality, however, I have put the
Someone get us-
CDA on the invite list. So I know that the CDA is gonna be getting an invitation, and if you have not been in it yet, I have to tell you, it is incredible. They have thought of everything.
What was it? I'm sorry, what was the date?
Monday, October
29th.
29th at 4 o'clock. It is just phenomenal, and if they don't offer the opportunity during this ribbon cutting to kind of do a tour, it is something that I'm interested in following up with them, just to kind of take the staff through and board members through. I mean, you're gonna look at this and you're gonna say,
That's great.
I wanna live here. They have thought of
Not yet.
everything.
I'm 55.
Right, not yet, right?
No, it's 55 and older.
55 and older.
Yeah.
It's just, it's awesome.
All right.
They just did an
My neighbor,
outstanding
my
job.
neighbor's probably moving in, actually. She's putting her house on the market and moving in. She loves it.
So you're recruiting neighbors as
I
well.
I have no dog in that fight. I'm just interested in the building itself.
Sorry, that was just commenting.
There was a couple more activity with the neighborhood improvement program, loan program, so some more of those things coming through, but that's in general, the last month of activity.
Can I ask a quick question, because this relates to, this might have been resolved, but I think I might have seen it in the minutes, but was it ever determined, I think it's Columbia Subsidiaries or, that's buying Sendex to open a clinic, was that, is that ever determined to be for-profit, non-profit? What, have you?
Great question. So at the
Actually,
time,
I have a question about that too.
at the time the CDA brought it up, the transfer of real estate hadn't gotten through. So it just was like 2 weeks ago, it was just in the Business Journal.
A week or 2 ago, yeah.
Yeah, so I reached out to the assessor and they had said the paperwork hasn't come through to us yet, but once we do get the paperwork through, then we'll let you know. So I can follow up with them and
But
provide you a
it's
report
not,
the next meeting.
it's a nonprofit.
Can that be challenged? Because it seems,
I was gonna ask something similar, like, what's the mechanism to getting fees in lieu of taxes for these types of developments?
Yeah.
'cause that's a big deal.
Yeah.
'Cause that's, and I think it's not a
It
situation
drives me
where
crazy that
the
these
whole-
places are,
the status of
Pay
the
taxes.
hospitals in particular.
yeah.
Usually that's negotiated way up front when.
Right, I didn't know how that
When
works,
it
if
was
that's
done
like
or not.
only when public money is being used, or only if we have like some sort of zoning change that we can hold over their head, or I don't know, I mean, I'm not sure how that works, but.
Yeah, in the
You do
pa-
have zoning that you could,
They didn't change the zoning though,
Right.
it's got a conditional
I
use,
know.
so
but if they put more than 50% of improvements into the building, which they are, then they have to meet zoning heights.
But I don't believe there's anything in our zoning code that requires the pilot.
No, there isn't, I'm sorry, but if they're, never mind.
Oh,
Is that, we past that right now? Are we beyond that? If they're doing improvements?
We don't know what the improvements are, but when I saw that one article that there's $7 million of improvements that they've run into, I said, oh, they're.
Would that open it up then? Okay. Cause I just think that's a real, that's a valuable space. It's not your typical nonprofit, in my opinion.
It's a very profitable nonprofit. I don't know where where all the money goes, but it's
So I don't know who reviews
It's not
that, or,
struggling.
you know.
Well, I'm happy to provide you the, report from the assessor,
Okay.
and he brings that forth, so we can list that for the next meeting.
And I mean, I think we're all on the same page here, but I think you're much more likely to be able to, figure out a mechanism by which to assess fees, and I'm talking totally out of turn here, than, review whether they're a nonprofit or not, that's established,
Yeah.
Well, that's established, but then there's other opportunities.
Yeah,
So that's the
the
question.
other opportunities,
What are those?
yeah.
Okay. Just not to get off track, but just general, your sense for sort of tone in the marketplace, inquiries, business activity, any?
I mean, we don't have a lot of space that people are calling me on.
Yeah.
Like a month or so ago, I had someone looking for another medical clinic. I think they followed up with you as well, Erica, but, in general, people usually call me based on availability. I'd say it's been pretty typical. More so questions on what's been happening, whether it's questions about Ascension or questions about, Casa de Corazon, but in general, nothing atypical, I guess.
I had a question about the North Shore Bank property, the old one. Any
Which old
discussion,
one?
the
The
ugly,
north one?
the ugly building across from Grafton Costco?
North one, sure.
Has there been any discussion what they're doing with that? Cause they're vacating it, right?
Yeah, not with the village. I have reached out to them twice, and they've indicated that they needed to, move in and establish what they're doing, and I at this point, they haven't been willing to sit down and exactly discuss that, 'cause I'm not sure they know exactly what they're planning on. Erica
Cause to
maybe
me,
had
that's
other
the
discussions
most
too.
valuable piece of property in the village
Right,
right
it's a
now.
very
that's-
large,
That should get
a large
redeveloped.
opportunity right there.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna buy it. They're entertaining, they're getting a lot of
Oh,
interest.
sure.
I gotta believe they are.
Is it presently totally open, is no one in it, there's no one in it at all?
I mean, maybe they have something in there, but they're not operating out of there.
They're
Okay.
just using it as storage
I was
right
gonna
now,
say.
and they haven't figured out where they're moving everything to.
Okay,
But they are well aware that we would like the village would like a conversation with them before they move forward with an interested party.
Did you have any other updates, activities?
Yeah, to spin off of what you were asking him, I mean, there's an uptick of inquiries from first-time business owners. They don't own it yet, and they're looking. And if you read the Shore Today article, the Q&A, I mean, we don't have a vacancy issue, and the ones we have just don't match what the need is. It just doesn't.
How would you describe so is the need, again, this sort of
You for your lower.
initial entry into?
Yes, that's the need. These young
Yeah.
millennials that wanna open up a business with creative ideas, they really do. Speaking with, Elon Peltz of Hayek's, he does have a letter of intent signed on, half of the space. And Art, you're aware he's going to be seeking approval of the third floor for apartment units, and I believe that's only design review board. No
Yeah, I've
other-
only heard that from conversations with.
Yeah,
him.
no,
He
he's
hasn't come to me with
directly
that, but-
told me that this week.
That's interesting.
He's been turning away, there's been a lot of interest for the other half of it, he's been turning away folks that have not had a business before.
Mhm.
So I know there's 3, maybe 4 businesses he's not taking seriously, because they're not giving him what he needs to feel assured.
Yep.
And, so yeah, I talked to him, I keep throwing ideas out, and he goes, don't worry, I'll find someone. It's like, okay. Like, I'm thinking a GNC, so I was, gonna talk to Jeff Brown at General Capital, cause they had someone nearly signing a letter of intent for that last vacancy in the Mosaic building, but in the end, the business said, oh, we need more square footage, we just don't have enough. So I wanna call Jeff to say, who is that, we're in the village.
Yeah.
So he didn't tell me in the email, what business that was. But yeah, again, they're restricted with the Roundy's agreement on what they can put in.
Yep.
And I know Orange Theory was thinking they would put a like non-competitive business in the space, so that's still an outlier.
Orange Theory would have another business?
They would have like almost like a subsidiary type of business that would complement theirs. I mean, it would be owned by the same
Yep.
person.
Is
Part
Orange
of
Theory a
Orange Theory.
local company?
No.
Or state?
It's,
They're
Yeah.
nationwide.
What
Um,
about Queensway? Anything?
I saw people out there the other day, bunch of fellas like assessing the grounds and stuff, so Bart, I was hoping you could.
No, they were supposed to have submitted environmental reports to the DNR, which they thought would take 6 weeks. I haven't heard from him since late spring, maybe April or May. We've had some issues with the house behind it, as he also owns that being unsecured, and so we've had the police, report to us. We've given it to him. He's locked all the doors. He's done stuff like that. But in terms of development, he's never proposed anything back to us.
Such a big old ugly sign and they've got the parking lot all
Mm-hmm.
fenced off and, you know.
They did-
usually asking a lot,
Eyesore.
usually asking a lot of money.
There was graffiti on that, one of those windows for a long time.
Yes, we had that removed. He cleaned up some landscaping. Perhaps he went too far in some people's opinion, so we got some pushback on that too. But we have been monitoring it in terms of code enforcement for those kind of issues.
And now, is the plan still to tear down that house and to use it all as one kind of?
I mean, that's the plan he's indicated to us, is that he'd tear them both down and redevelop them at the same time. And they're both commercially zoned, so we could do that without having to seek a rezone on that, but
just, no, lots of contamination, I'm sure.
I'm sure there's remediation that has to take place, correct, or capping or whatever.
I just have a few more little small ones. I don't know if anyone has seen that the Wells Fargo drive-through is permanently closed.
No?
I spoke with the branch manager, cause I really don't have any other contracts. And she said that they're looking into just putting 2 ATM machines. So I don't know where that comes in.
The one on Capitol?
Yeah, yeah, and that is a redevelopment site noted in the Central Business District Master Plan. And
So
then,
are they looking at shutting down that branch then, is that basically what they're looking
I
at
think they
doing?
would just keep it and put 2 ATM machines that people can just drive through, so I don't even know how
Yeah.
that works with zoning. But
Yeah, they
so I
haven't
would-
contacted me. That's the first I've heard of
I
that
don't, will
plan,
they
so.
contact you?
I'm sure
to put
not.
2 machines, right,
Oh.
so if that's, if
But
that
I would
building.
ask that question, because what a lot of banks are doing is going to the virtual ATMs, and since they have a location
It's a virtual
that's like
teller
a
almost.
virtual teller, I'm sorry, that's 3 blocks away, I bet they're doing that. So they're probably like shutting down that
Yeah, no people.
actual branch, no people.
Right, I don't know if that's
They probably won't.
allowed under zoning. I
Yeah,
don't
I'd
know,
have-
it's a
I-
drive-through only? I mean, what kind of use, well, anyway, that.
They're definitely modifying
yeah,
the
you-
use there.
I mean, that's basically what it is now anyway, right? That you can't go in there. It's just a drive-through.